What's up, guys? Part-Time Gamer Dad here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about my top 5 worst King of the Ring winners of all time. Now keep in mind, these are my top 5 worst, not everybody's top 5 worst, not the objectively top 5 worst of all time. This is just my personal list, so make sure you let me know in the comments below where you disagree. Make sure you let me know in the comments below what your top 5 worst are, and let's get into the video. So coming in at number 5, it hurts me. It hurts me so much because it could have been so good. It's William Regal. William Regal, the reason he's at my 5th worst is because he didn't really do anything with this win. If you watch my top 5 best King of the Ring winners of all time video, you know that I really like to see a King of the Ring winner capitalize on their victory in a way that propels their career, whether that's a title victory, whether it's a career-defining feud, or whether it's putting them on a trajectory that causes them to really become the face of WWE, like a Stone Cold Steve Austin. And looking at William Regal, he had a feud with Mr. Kennedy that ended in a loser leaves town. And that all came because William Regal self-sabotaged himself by failing a wellness policy. And he got a suspension. And imagine what he could have done if that hadn't happened. He could have feuded with Triple H. He could have gone for the WWE Championship. He could have been the first UK-born WWE champion. And it's a bummer that it worked out the way it did, because I really wish we could have seen what he could have pulled off, especially if he was like the King of the Ring and the Raw GM, like that amount of power in one person, and the ego and the narcissism and the manipulation, abuse of power, like could have been an incredible story. But unfortunately, William Regal, ironically, is the one who robbed us of that, because he did the wrong thing in terms of adhering to the rules of that wellness policy. And we missed out on probably what would have been the career-defining run for William Regal. And number 4, we have Sheamus. I'm going to be real with you. This is a personal one, and it really comes down to the gimmick he had afterwards. That stupid crown, man. I'm not even gonna be harsh, but that stupid crown. Also, can we talk about how much of King of Ring was a step backwards in his career? He had won the WWE Championship right after debuting at TLC the previous year. He had this great feud with Triple H at the WrestleMania before, and into Extreme Rules, I think. And then he kind of fell off, and then wins King of the Ring, and then he has a pre-show U.S. title match with Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. Something about it felt way off, and he didn't really recover until the following year when he won the World Championship. So it really, I think the King of the Ring was not a good victory, not a good career step, not a good achievement for Sheamus, given that it didn't positively impact him at all immediately after, or really for the following year period. He had to build himself back up, and then happened to win the Royal Rumble, which he wasn't even the right call for that. So have him at my 4th worst. Talking about another guy from across the pond in the worst list hurts a lot. And this one hurts a lot too, because it's Bad News Barrett. Bad News Barrett could have been a really great King of the Ring, but nothing positive came out of it. What really sucks about that is also he just continued to decline, and it was more of a comedy gimmick than anything. And that's really unfortunate, because Wade Barrett was such a great talent. He really should have won that championship off of Randy Orton, and he should have feuded with John Cena into WrestleMania, or he should have feuded with The Undertaker like he was supposed to into WrestleMania. But instead, his career just continued to go down, and he became part of the core, and then he won a lot of IC titles, but the King of the Ring victory didn't really do anything for him. If at best, it stagnated him. And at worst, which it was at worst, it continued to slide him back. And by the time he was gone, he was the 4th most important person in a faction involving Alberto Del Rio. That tells you what his career was like at that time. And it's unfortunate, because I think there was a lot of missed opportunity on Wade Barrett, Bad News Barrett, whatever you want to call him. And this King of the Ring victory did not help him or serve him in any way. So unfortunately, as much as it hurts, I'm going to put him at number 3. Now, these last two, I'm not sorry about at all. Number 2, Billy Gunn. Like, okay, I get it from a standpoint of like an appearance and just, you know, kind of a work rate. He wasn't an incredible wrestler, and he also wasn't the best promo. But I could see from like a looks standpoint, like how you want a main eventer to look. Billy Gunn was that guy. But then why did you immediately just devalue the victory by throwing him and feeding him to The Rock in a kiss my ass match where you had him in promos leading up to the SummerSlam pay-per-view where The Rock eviscerated him? And granted, that's on Billy Gunn too, right? Billy Gunn should have stepped up in the promo, but also don't put him against The Rock, arguably the greatest promo of all time, immediately upon winning King of the Ring. He was not ready. He probably never was going to be ready. He wasn't the right call. But also, that shows kind of like the people that they had available to them in 1999, where it was a situation of you have certain people that you could throw into that role, but like how are you going to utilize it? How are you going to capitalize on it? The main event ended up being Triple H, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Mankind for the WWF Championship. So there was no direct tie into King of the Ring. It was booked poorly, but also Billy Gunn was absolutely the wrong person to win that year. And I don't know who to tell you. I don't know who I could tell you should have been. Like, maybe it should have been Mankind. Maybe it should have been The Rock. But it should not have been Billy Gunn. He wasn't ready. And everything he did afterwards was a negative, in my opinion. And he never, ever, ever came close to sniffing the main event scene after that. He won a couple of mid-card belts. Good for him. But when you look at who immediately fell off, Billy Gunn's at the top of that list because he never should have been in the conversation for King of the Ring. Number one, if this isn't your number one, you can have whatever list you want, okay? You can have whatever list of ranking you want for King of the Ring, but if Mabel is not your worst King of the Ring of all time, like, what are you doing, man? Mabel was such a bad wrestler, and Nelson Frazier, like, rest in peace, man. Like, I don't want to speak ill of the dead. Him as a wrestler was rough to watch. He injured a lot of people. And the match with Diesel, Kevin Nash, at SummerSlam 95, the immediate aftermath of King of the Ring, is the worst SummerSlam main event, possibly the worst wrestling main event of all time. And after that, Mabel never became a household name again. Viscera was interesting, I guess. Big Daddy V was okay. But Mabel should have never even been sniffing the main event scene. The reason he was in there was because he was a big guy, and Vince liked big guys, and put him up in front of Kevin Nash, Diesel, because Hulk Hogan was the guy who would fight the monster of the week, and so Mabel was the monster of the week. Put him against your new Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, with a year-long title reign. And it didn't work. It didn't work well at all. And what I wonder is, who else could have been King of the Ring in 1995? Like, logistically, realistically, who else could have been? And that just speaks to how bad WWF was in 95. I can't entirely fault the WWF. It was a train wreck that year. But there could have been a better choice than Mabel. You could have at least gotten a serviceable main event. It may not have been like this clash of like two colossi. What is the word? Colossuses? That sounds wrong. Colossi. We'll go with colossi. But this clash of just two monsters. But it could have been a match that we don't look back on as the worst main event ever of a pay-per-view. At very least, SummerSlam. So I don't see a world in which Mabel isn't your worst King of the Ring winner of all time. But if you have an argument to make for somebody else, like a Billy Gunn, like a Bad News Barrett, Regal, Sheamus, throw it in the comments below. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Again, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And I will see you very soon.